welcome back to the Crawl Corner. We're here once again in this wonderful ranty corner for all things Formula E. So the second race here at Tokyo has come to a close. Wow, what a stunning race. Those final few laps and pretty much from halfway through the race, it was chaos, wasn't it? There was just so much going on, so much to keep your eye on, difference in attack modes and people trying to carve their way through. It just had everything, didn't it? It really, really did. So if you've seen this series before, I award the drivers out a maximum of 10 points based on their overall race weekend's performance and go all the way down to 0 if they have a particularly bad one. Take a look out for bonus points. They're sometimes not for some drivers do something extra special during a race. On the rare occasion I do all minus points, those drivers do something extra special, but for all the wrong reasons. Let's take a look at the current Crawl Corner standings then going into this episode. It's on the screen now for you to take a look at. Have a look and see where your favourite driver is, and based on how well they did this weekend, can you see them going up? Can you see them going down? Ollie Rowland there with a comfortable lead. Will he be caught up at all after this race? Well, you'll have to wait and see, won't you? Or will he just extend his championship advantage here on the Crawl Corner even further? He's pretty much running away with it in real life. He's running away with it here, but you never know. Everything can change on this series. There's drivers down at the bottom really struggling to get off the bottom of the list. Norman Nato having a shocker and continues to do so. Let's see what I award him as the video goes on. And yeah, there's a load of stuff mixing up and matching up. There's very tightly knit, very closely packed grid this time around on the standings. And yeah, let's get it stuck into it, shall we? So without further ado then, let's kick things off with the race winner. It is, of course, Ollie Rowland. No surprises there. I mean, if you look at it this way, he could have been a double winner at Monaco. He could have been a double winner this time out in Tokyo had it not been for Van Dorn in yesterday's race, able to use his pit boost pretty much for free. It's absolutely unbelievable how it's worked out this season so far for Ollie Rowland. Pole position once again for him this time around. So double pole sitter this time out, a second place and then a race winner. He's just formidable, isn't he? However, he made himself a lot of hard work with that first attack mode and taking that first attack mode late. Slip into 6th and then unable to climb his way through the field despite having that extra energy boost, that 4-wheel drive. The pack was so tightly packed that once he tried to make a move on one, he was immediately onto another car ahead and he had to really time his overtakes well so that he was able to nip past one without taking another one out effectively. And that really cost him in the first attack mode phases, and we thought he was not going to be on for a win in that scenario then, and he'd literally just have to settle for maybe a podium position. It looked like it had all gone wrong, but then he took the second attack mode early, and that able to get him back to the front. And then we had the timing of the, was it a safety car or a VSC for debris on the track, wasn't it? And he was ahead at that stage, and that was just enough to make him comfortable to be able to get through then and secure the victory. We had a safety car at the end, didn't we? But no additional laps added for that. I can't remember what the safety car was for, actually. Oh, of course it was. It was Taylor Barnard, wasn't it? But yeah, that was able then. It all sort of came good from that moment on for Ollie Rowland, that once they'd saved that energy, he was able then just to run away with the race victory. But had it not been for that late safety car, he consumed so much energy to get back to the front and stay there that I think it'd have been a little bit of a cropper had it not been for that. So yeah, he can count his lucky chickens on that. But once again, even when it all goes wrong for Ollie Rowland, it still ends up being right and he still ends up taking victory. Fantastic stuff. Ollie Rowland this time around gets 9 points from me. Can't be a perfect 10 because he did make an absolute mess of that first attack mode strategy and was lucky with the timing of the safety car. But again, I can't criticise someone too much that's still able to deliver a victory even when they do something wrong. That is special. It is special, that, isn't it? The fact that you're able to work your way out of a tricky situation is a fairly stunning effort. So yeah, 9 points to Ollie Rowland. Well done to him. What a cracking effort. Second place, we come to Pascal Wehrlein in the Porsche. Wow, thank God for that. We see a Porsche back on the podium. It's been a while, hasn't it? I mean, they've probably picked up an podium here or there, but it's not consistent enough to make a regular thing out of it, and everyone will be going, wow, look at Porsche doing really well. He scored no points last race out, and this time round he's here on the podium, but still losing out to his championship rival, even when he's on the podium. It's ridiculous, isn't it? This is how much of a handle Ollie Rowland has got on this championship. We're halfway through the campaign now, and it's got to go really wrong for Ollie Rowland, and it's got to go then really right for everyone else for anyone to even have a chance. It's 70 points now, the gap in the championship lead. That's 2 wins, and well, it's near enough 3 wins, isn't it? It's like 2 wins and a second, and even then you're still 2 points behind. So, unbelievable stuff. Absolutely unbelievable. Pascal Wehrlein's race, though, he was, an attacking, charging. He was always near the front, always in the mix, always in the fight. And again, was unlucky with the timing of that final safety car period, because without that, I think he could have been the victor today. But that's it. That's the luck you get in some championships. And it wasn't quite with him this time around, was Wehrlein, but still put in an impressive effort. That reason it's 9 points as well to Pascal Wehrlein. Solid effort, stunning stuff. Was always looking like he was going to get on the podium. And second place, I think, is some consolation to what was a difficult day yesterday. But here, this time out, it was a lot better effort. So yeah, 9 to Wehrlein. Solid effort. In third place, securing his first ever podium in Formula E, we come to Dan Tinctum in the Kiro race quid pro quo status quo. Don't break my heart, my achy breaky heart. He had a fantastic race yesterday, and I was praising a top 5 finish, and here we are praising and celebrating a podium. Drove like a champion that race, and credit where it's due. Dan Tinctum, that was incredible what he did this weekend. It really was. The whole weekend on a whole, but this race in particular was just something special. Qualified himself up at the front and stayed up at the front. I think there was maybe 1 or 2 laps in that whole thing where he'd taken attack mode, where he'd fallen outside the podium places, and even then he was only 4th or 5th and then quickly climbed his way back through. He looked like a potential race winner. The late safety car again potentially cost him as well, because he had 2% more energy than Ollie Rowland. But obviously with that late safety car and no additional laps, it meant they could go flat out to the finish. I think he was potentially robbed of a P2 finish there. I don't think he was ever going to go fighting with Wehrlein. Obviously, Kiro are a customer team to Porsche, and they're running year-old powertrains, so I don't think they wanted to really upset the apple cart too much. You could hear with the radio comms between the two of them, like, I'm not going to do anything risky, and I'm not going to do anything silly on Pascal. So I don't think a win was ever on the cards, but I think a P2 could have been possible there, but that is no fault of Dan Tinctum's, just the timing of the safety car. But what an incredible drive. What an incredible drive. Energy efficiency, had the pace, took the attack modes well, raced well. I mean, that gaggle where everything was kicking off and Barnard was attacking him and Wehrlein was attacking him, and then you had Eduardo Mortara coming at him. He was trying to get rolling. It was just kicking off, but normally in that situation, you'll see Dan Tinctum firing a car off into the wall or firing himself off. We've seen it in the past in Formula E, not just in his earlier seasons as well in other categories, but he just drove so smart, let him get on with it, and was like, yeah, you carry on with that, I'm doing my own thing. And just did incredibly well. I cannot praise Dan enough for that. I really can't. What a stunning, stunning effort. It's 12. He's getting 2 additional bonus points from me for that. That was incredible, Dan. It was so good to see. It was so rewarding. That team, or the guys of that team, since Neo haven't had a podium since Ollie Turvey back in Gen 1, I think it would have been, at Mexico or something like that. So we're going back several years before this team was able to celebrate a podium in whatever form it was over the years. But that one was incredible. Well done, Dan Tinctum. It's 12 to you. Honestly, I could talk about you all day, because that was absolutely sensational. 4th place, we come to Jake Dennis in the first of the Andrettis. Very unlucky to get a black flag in race number 1 for taking his pit boost wrong. That was a team error, not his error. And here he is recovering the weekend quite well to secure 4th place. Again, his race, he was getting attacked left, right, centre, but was able to climb his way through into P4. Good efforts, good attacks, good strategy options there. And ultimately kept himself out of trouble to secure what was a solid top 5 performance for the Andretti squad and for Jake Dennis himself. Obviously, like everyone else this season, apart from Ollie Rowland, looking like an outsider for the championship, just not stringing it enough together. But at least it's a good handful of points for the team and for himself. It's 8.5 to Jake Dennis. Good effort, solid performance. Maybe a podium could have been possible again had it not been for that late safety car intervention. But again, that's just timing, misfortune. Sometimes you get the luck, sometimes you don't. But Jake Dennis can be happy with that. Solid effort. 8.5 to him. 5th place, we come to Lucas Di Grassi in the first of the Apt Lola Yamahas. Things, whatever you call them, whichever way around that goes. Again, another stunning performance. You see Dan Tinctum on the podium. You see the Apt Lola Yamaha squad securing a solid top 5 finish. And again, he was always in the mix, and this is what it's all about. A great qualifying effort, kept himself inside the top 10. He was having a rough and a tumble. You could see he was breaking his front wing off. You could see a little hole in his nose. He'd been nuzzling cars. He'd been getting stuck in, and really delivered a great result for the team there. And again, suddenly the Lola car had pace. It just couldn't do it all at once. So, you know, hopefully this is the start of things to come for Kiro and for the Lola team. I'm not saying it's going to be podiums and points all the time, but it would be good to see them both up there and fighting the mix a little bit more often. Lucas Di Grassi can get a perfect 10 from me, and he honestly can. That was a great effort by Lucas. Just so much going on in a race, and again, these past few seasons and past couple of seasons in particular, we've seen that Di Grassi is normally the one in trouble, normally hitting a car, falling off himself. But then that race got that fast and frantic that he just let everyone else get on with their own thing and carved his way through the field. It was a fantastic effort and fully deserving of 10 points. A top 5 finish in that Lola car is a great effort, great achievement. And he was there all race long, so it wasn't like he fluked into it like the last time out where he got the podium. So, yeah, it was a genuine top 5 finish, and I think they're going to be more pleased with that than they are with the lucky podium they got. Don't get me wrong, I'd celebrate the podium as well, you know, but this was a genuine, on-merit, pace performance. It worked all the way through, so well done to them. 10 points to Lucas Di Grassi. Next up, we come to Jean-Eric Vergne, the first of the DS Penske's. Not really much to be said about his race. Once again involved in this frantic, frenetic battle, but sort of like he's talking about the drivers now that didn't really get on top of it, weren't able to pick the way through. It's difficult one to judge. We were too busy watching the action up at the front, and rightly so, and I can't remember what everyone did in terms of attack modes when they attacked him, what actually happened to their race. But for Jean-Eric Vergne, it's a solid finish, a top 6 finish. It's a solid effort. Again, nothing special, but it's 7.5 to him. Jean-Eric Vergne, I would have expected, you know, to be involved a little bit further up that mix and up that gaggle, but racing's racing, isn't it? And sometimes it doesn't work out. Not discrediting Vergne, but there were far more impressive drives further up the field this time out, and that's why it's 7.5 to Jean-Eric Vergne. Next up, we come to Nick Cassidy in the first of the Jaguars. Yeah. It's some points, I guess, isn't it? He got a lucky point last time out. He gets a solid top 8 finish here. I just don't know. I just don't know. It's unbelievable, isn't it? Dan Tinktum has had the same amount of podiums as Nick Cassidy this season. Let that sink in. Yeah, it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. It's a solid 7. He didn't do anything wrong, but again, just not there in the mix. He should normally be the one fighting for the victory, involved in all that massive melee of 4 cars going wide and getting chucked in and stuck in, and normally he'd be the one that comes out winning, but here, yeah, great, solid, but again, nothing special. 7 to Nick Cassidy. Next up, it's Sam Bird securing a few points for the McLaren squad, but again, the second driver in McLaren this time out, qualified himself inside the top 10 for only the second time this season, which isn't impressive, is it, when you consider what his teammate was doing? And what his teammate was doing in that race was absolutely sublime before Barnard got punted off. Yeah, Sam Bird, it's a solid 6. He got some points. He recovered something from the McLaren squad after the heartbreak of Taylor Barnard being punted off into the wall in the closing stages of the race. But yeah, Sam Bird, again, nothing special or spectacular. A handful of points when it could have been a potential podium or potential win again for his teammate. Yeah, great, but nothing special. 6 to Bird, thank me for him. Next up, Sebastian Buemi. Again, it's sort of like a tale of two fortunes, really. He had a great race yesterday. Not so good race today, but at least, again, it's some points for Envision, which has been lacking for quite a long time now. Again, just couldn't really get himself stuck in the mix like he could yesterday's race. And a lot of drivers and teams did struggle, to be fair, when it was just flat out for that final lap, really, because that was where, you know, they could have had a massive percentage overpower to the other cars, but then once that safety car came out, no additional laps, it cancels all that out, and all that hard work is sort of wasted, and that energy that they had banked is wasted as well because they can't spend it. So yeah, you know, there's probably a little bit of that involved in there as well, but for Sebastian Buemi, it's a solid 6 again. Same as his Sam Bird, really. They're here picking up a couple of points in the final stages of the top 10 positions. Nothing special or spectacular, but got something out of it. 6 to Buemi. Taking the final points paying position in P10, we come to Maxi Gunter in the second of the DS Penske's. At least it's a double points finish for DS Penske, but again, you see what everyone else is doing this season, and DS Penske are just falling a little bit short, aren't they? Shorter expectations, I would say, not just for us as viewers, but also for the teams themselves. I'd have certainly expected a lot more podiums this year from what driver lineup they've got. I'd have expected a lot more points finishers. Maxi Gunter gets 1 point, which is a recovery, I suppose, compared to the disaster he had yesterday, which wasn't his fault. But 1 point. 1 point. You know, it's nothing to write home about or celebrate, is it? It's 5.5 to Maxi Gunter. Yeah, difficult day at the office once again, but got something out of it at least. Just outside the points in P11, we come to the second Andretti's in Nico Muller. Yeah, again, just an average performance. Unlucky to not be inside the points. Something happened to him in the race, didn't it? But did he get a biff? I can't quite remember. But I know something did. Oh, that's what happened to him. He was early to take the attack modes. He was the first one to use his second attack and didn't climb his way up through the field as much as he should have done, and then just tumbled down then as a result of everyone else using their second attack mode. I know something happened to him, but yeah, strategic gamble didn't pay off there. I think he'd have hoped to get a little bit further up the field, but as we saw with Roland, the field was that tightly packed, you couldn't use the attack mode like you normally would. You had the pace advantage, but you couldn't find a way around everyone. So yeah, Nico Muller fell short in that circumstance. Would have been hoping to stay further up the top 10 so that he dropped down and stayed inside. Didn't happen this time around. Miller 05 to him for that. An average performance once again for an average race. After crossing the line in P5 but taking a 5-place grid penalty for contact with Taylor Barnard, we come to Eduardo Mortara. And there we have it. Of course it had to be, didn't it? Lotterer of the week to Eduardo Mortara. Cost his team points with that 5 second time penalty and punted Taylor Barnard out of what could have been a potential podium for him as well. And also, let's not forget, a potential podium for Eduardo Mortara as well. He just totally got the braking wrong, ran into the back of Taylor Barnard, gave Taylor Barnard a puncture, which sent him straight off into the wall, which was very, very unfortunate. Yeah, disappointing that. Disappointing. That's the first time we've seen Eduardo go over the limit, to be honest. I think that's his first lottery of the week. He's been doing such a great job for Mahindra, and Mahindra have been doing such a great job for him. That would have been another top 5 finish for the Mahindra squad, but 10 points have gone missing now for that team in their team's championship battle because of Eduardo's silly antics and just not quite braking right and punting another competitor off. So, yeah, he's going to be frustrated. The team are going to be frustrated. I'm frustrated. I've not seen Eduardo do anything like that for a long time in Formula E. Yeah, he's been very unlucky in previous years, but it's normally him as a result of contact. He's been hit, not him being the hitter. But yeah, this time around, it has to be, I'm afraid. He was right to get the 5 second time penalty. I just feel sorry for the Mahindra team because they lose points as a result of the driver's silly antics, to be honest. So yeah, it has to be of the week, and it is for Eduardo Mortara for punting Taylor Barnard out the race and costing his team a good solid handful of points once again. Next up, we come to David Beckman in the second of the Kiro race. Quid pro quo, status quo, don't break my heart, my achy breaky hearts. Not much to say about his race at all, unfortunately. Down here, outside the points once again. So failed to secure any points so far this season in a car that looks like it is clearly capable of doing so in the hands of Dan Tinkton and on multiple occasions and at different circuits. I'm aware he's still relatively a rookie in Formula E, but he needs to start climbing up the field a little bit now. I've been generous this time around and giving him 4 points. I think there's a lot worse drivers out there this weekend that we've still not come to yet. But yeah, unfortunately, I can't give him any more than 4 because he was well off the pace in comparison with his teammate and failed to net any points. Next up, we come to Zane Maloney. Sort of a second repeat, really, of what happened and what I was just discussing about David Beckman. His teammate, of course, Zane Maloney's teammate, that is, Lucas Di Grassi, secures a top 5 finish for Lola after racing around inside those points-paying positions the whole race long. Zane Maloney, unable to break inside the top 10 once again, and fails to do so yet again, no points on the board for Zane Maloney either this championship, while Lucas Di Grassi has managed to get himself a solid handful of points this race around, and of course had the lucky podium a couple of races ago as well. So yeah, needs to book his ideas up, does Zane Maloney. Again, a relative rookie on the grid, so I need to give him a little bit of sympathy, but he's getting the same as Beckman. It's 4, he can thank me for him. Again, the Lola car looked like it was capable of points today in the hands of Lucas Di Grassi inside the top 5. With that result, I would have expected Zane Maloney around 10th, get that final points paying position, and I would have said that's a good effort for a rookie, but here he is well outside the top 10 and continues to fail to score for that team. So let's hope next time out's better, but for now, 4 to Maloney, that's that. Then we come to the second of the Mahindras in Nick De Vries. And there we have it, Lotterer of the Week to Nick De Vries. Heavily crashed into the back of Sam Bird, so it was the Mahindras attacking the McLarens this race around, wasn't it? We had Eduardo Mortara punting off Barnard. We had Nick De Vries heavily hitting the back of Sam Bird. Sam Bird was lucky not to get a puncture in that situation, and Nick De Vries was lucky himself not to pick up more damage than he did. He damaged his front wing heavily. I'm surprised he wasn't brought in for that, because it was flapping like that for quite a while and was really dangerous. It did end up falling off and causing a virtual safety car for the marshals to go and safely recover the bits left on the track, which was unfortunate. But yeah, Nick De Vries cost himself with that contact and tumbled down the order as a result. I think he bent the steering as well at that point. So yeah, unfortunately this race around, it was again a race of what could have been for Mahindra, but both drivers created their own luck in this situation. Both drivers had potential there for a top 8 finish, and both drivers let it go begging, I'm afraid. Nick De Vries with early contact, Mortara with late contact, and just a shame overall, to be honest, that it was allowed to happen like that. So yeah, both drivers let the team down as opposed to the team letting the drivers down this time around. De Vries really struggled after that contact. Like I said, I think there was much more damage than just the front wing. He went in with a right thump, but kept it going. But it has to be a Lotterer of the Week for the heavy contact that he did at the start to Sam Bird, which Sam Bird was lucky to keep going for. But yeah, there you go. Lotterer of the Week to Nick De Vries. That's his first one as well, isn't it? So yeah, disaster for Mahindra this race around, particularly their drivers. Next up, we come to the second of the Envisions in Robin Freins. And there we have it, Lotterer of the Week to Robin Freins, and I know everyone's going to be shouting at me, why have you done that, Josh? Why have you done that? It wasn't his fault. He lined up at the back of the grid with a 20-place grid drop and then had to do a 10-second stop-go in the race, which pretty much put him out of contention. I totally agree. I totally get it. But it's just the frustration that's been building up from me with Freins throughout the weekends that have gone on and on and on and on. And these last few races, you just see Buemi picking up points consistently. Robin Freins gets the odd 1 or 2 or nothing at all. So it's not just due to this race that Robin Freins gets a Lotterer. It's an accumulative build of all the little niggles that have been building up to this point. Yeah, of course, I totally agree. It was massively unlucky with what happened. The late safety car didn't help him. And yeah, it's a shame to see him down here. He doesn't deserve the Lotterer for this race result because his race was over really before it began. However, it's just the cumulative build of all the mistakes he's made throughout the season, all the poor performances have added together to the point where I think you are due one and you're going to get one. So yeah, Robin Freins, unfortunate for him that he got the race over really with the penalty, with the stop-go and the grid drop and all that lot. But yeah, it was a frustrating weekend once again by Freins, and that's why overall he's been awarded a Lotterer of the Week. Next up, we come to the second of the Nissans in Norman Nato. That's right, it's Norman Nato in the Nissan. And there we have it. It is Lotterer of the Week to Norman Nato once again. Once again, he is on a final warning now. That is 5 of the weeks he has received out of the first 9 races this season. Norman Nato is really just Andre Lotterer at this moment in time. I cannot believe it. He cannot get any more of the weeks. He will just be disqualified if he has another subpar performance. Once again, qualifies himself inside the top 10. He had a crash in qualifying though, I think, didn't he? Or knocked the wall or something happened. He certainly cost himself when he got into the duels anyway. And then in the race itself was fighting around the top 5, top 8 positions. Fine, just get a good handful of points, Norman. But then just fades away. He just tumbles down the order, and I don't know what it is with him. I really don't. We saw it in yesterday's race. We've seen it in today's race. He starts well, and then as you get to the halfway point, and then he just makes no progress anymore. It's unbelievable. So yeah, frustrating. I think Nissan must be getting really frustrated with him as well, because I think Nissan are still leading the team's championship, but that's single-handedly as a result of Ollie Rowland, because I think Norman's only scored like 10 points in the championship so far. It's only that Rowland's got such a huge cushion over everyone else. But if both Porsches start getting in the podium positions all the time, they'll quickly eat away that gap. And if Ollie Rowland just has one bad race, then it's going to cost them massively in the team. So yeah, they need to get his ideas sorted out, does Norman, because it's frustrating for the team. It's frustrating for us watching. There's a car capable there of securing regular top 5 finishes in the hands of anyone else, and it's frustrating to see. So yeah, Norman Nato, big shame. Big shame. I hope he books his ideas up soon, because I like the guy, but this is just not good enough. So yeah, a Lotterer of the week and a final warning to Norman Nato. Then we come to Jake Hughes, the last of the finishers in this race. No idea what happened to him at all, to be honest. Just milling around at the back. Did he have contact? I can't remember. Really can't. He's got 2 points anyway. He's got 2 points. He can thank me for them. I have got no idea what happened to Jake this race. I knew that the Maseratis struggled in qualifying and were right down at the back, but he just made no progress whatsoever. 2 points, Jake. Really tough weekend at the office. Really tough day at the office for Jake this time out. Tokyo, he really would have been better off not turning up, which is a shame to say, but yeah, absolutely nothing came the way of Jake this time around, and that's a huge shame. Then we come to the list of DNFers, so the last car to retire in the race is the first I talk about, of course, and that sadly is Taylor Barnard. What a shame. What a shame. After once again an impressive drive through the field, podium was possible, maybe even the win. You know, there was options there for something special once again from Taylor Barnard, and he was punted off into the wall by Eduardo Mortara. My rule for DNFers, for whatever reason, is that they can score up to a maximum of 5 points, and I always follow that rule. However, I am bending the rule this time around. I am giving him 5 points plus 3 additional bonus points, because he really deserved a lot more from this weekend. Taylor Barnard, bless him, when he was in the wall, he was like, I'm just so sorry for you guys. Like, oh, yeah, I know, Taylor, I know, it wasn't your fault, mate. And he's such a great lad. I think the win's going to come this season, I really do. He was clearly at one with the car once again here in Tokyo, and was ready for another podium. It was going to be a double podium weekend for Taylor Barnard. At very worst, a P4 finish. But yeah, Taylor Barnard deserves so much more this race. So it is 5 points, the maximum I can score a retirement, but I'm bending my own rules for the right reasons, and it's 3 additional bonus points to him, because he did nothing wrong this weekend and was just punted off in the final stages due to a wayward Mortara. Next up, we come to Stoffel Van Dorn. So anonymous, I didn't even know he'd retired. I didn't even know he was in the race at all until Taylor Barnard retired, and I'm like, why is he behind Van Dorn? Sure. Oh no, Van Dorn's out as well. That's literally the first I saw of Van Dorn. Had Taylor Barnard not gone out of the race, I wouldn't have known that Van Dorn was not in the race anymore. No idea what happened to the Maserati squad this time around. I mean, I know they were struggling anyway. They were lucky yesterday with the pit boost, but you make your own luck in the game, and they did a stunning job. But this time around was literally, don't bother turning up. They should have got the flight home yesterday. Maserati would have been better off not racing this time around. I don't know if it was damage, if it was a mechanical issue, but he's getting 4 out of a maximum of 5 points, because I don't know what happened. I really don't. If I find out he ended up taking someone out and that caused his own problems, then I'll adjust it next time out. But yeah, really disappointing to see Van Dorn out the race, and even more disappointing that he was that lonely. I didn't even know he'd actually retired. That's how bad it was this race. So yeah, 4 to Van Dorn. That's that. Next up, we come to Antonio Felix da Costa in the second of the Porsches. And there we have it, Lotterer of the Week to Antonio Felix da Costa. Mistiming the reduction in speed during the first virtual safety car, full course yellow, they call it in Formula E, don't they? the race director was counting down, full course yellow in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then he just went and ploughed into the back of the car ahead. I think it was De Vries or maybe Mortara. It was certainly a Mahindra anyway, I think. But yeah, just went ploughing into the back of it, broke his front suspension as a result. Yeah, mistimed it, unfortunately. Mistimed the braking into the full course yellow to reduce his speed, and hit the car ahead, broke his suspension, and that was that. Has to be a lottery, I'm afraid. That has to be. So yeah, lottery of the week to Antonio Felix Acosta. Certainly points would have been possible this race, however, he scores none due to his own silly error. And last but by no means least, we come to the DNSer that did not start. It is, of course, Mitch Evans. And there we have it. Mitch Evans scores a Lotterer of the Week as well. His crash in qualifying meant he was unable to start the race due to the amount of damage he sustained with the car. Good to see that he was okay, of course, that's always the main thing. But when you crash your car that heavily that you're not able to start the race, it's a Lotterer of the Week, I'm afraid. What a ridiculously bad season Jaguar has and continues to have. Mitch Evans, again, if there was one driver that really didn't need to turn up this weekend, it was Mitch, because it was literally a pointless exercise from start to finish. Problems all the way through. And yeah, just an absolute weekend to forget once again. But what's new? This seems to be a regular thing for Jaguar now. We're praising Nick Cassidy something for getting some points. That's how bad it's getting. Whereas normally we're ready to see him up the front, fighting for victory, getting 1-2s in qualifying, 1-2s in races. That was just last season. Now they've taken on the Envision role of not getting anything at all. It's absolutely crazy. So yeah, Mitch Evans, Lotterer of the Week to him. Has to be. So then guys, those were the runners and riders of the Tokyo E-Prix round number 2 here in Japan. Let me know down in the comment section, just score any drivers too high, any too low. The updated standings with the scores I've just awarded are on the screen now for you to take a look at. Have a look and see where your favourite driver is now. Ollie Rowland once again out in front. Dan Tinkton bumping his way up to P2 in the standings. Taylor Barnard there. It's a British 1, 2, 3. Everyone's crying British bias. They really are right now. But just take a look at where Sam Bird is and Jake Hughes. They're further down the page on the other side, aren't they? So yeah, it's not British bias all the way, I promise. Yeah, as we already mentioned during the video though, Norman Nato now on a final warning. He's had 5 Lotterers. He cannot have another mistake this season, otherwise he will be the first to join the disqualified pile. Very, very frustrated indeed. 6 Lotterers handed out this race. There was a lot of poor performances. There was probably more drivers that deserved it as well. That was a little bit generous too. And yeah, just very difficult, very tricky weekend for a lot of drivers. This race in particular, the ones that did well really shone. The ones that did poorly really were shown up, weren't they? So yeah, that's that, I'm afraid. There's the scores, and that's what we're going into for the next round. A massive thanks as always goes out to JW97 of JW Talks Motorsport, of course, for reminding me with the scoreboard that you see on your screen. Without him, this series would be more pointless than it already is. Thank you so much, buddy. He's been really accommodating with me this weekend. I've been away for a wedding, so apologies for these videos being late, but obviously that means that the scores get over to him late, but he's still been straight on it like that. Bang, there they go, mate. I've done them for you, and I really do appreciate your efforts as always, buddy. Thank you so much for doing them. I really do appreciate it. So I will see you all in a couple of weeks' time. I can't remember where we are next. Is it Shanghai? China? I think it's something. Is it? Yeah, I think it is. I think it is. I think I might have got that right. And I think it's in a couple of weeks' time as well, because it's all thick and fast now, isn't it, until the end of the season in Formula E. So yeah, let's wait and see till then. And thank you so much for watching, guys. And as always, much love.